Hey guys, welcome to the Sean Files. So yesterday I was doing my homework, and as I always do, when I do my homework, I like to watch movies and I like to listen to music because it just helps me concentrate. You know, if it's completely silence, it drives me crazy. Like I can't even imagine. I don't know. I refuse to work that way. Anyway, but yesterday my husband I picked a movie out for us. And I usually like it when he picks movies that aren't like super good because I can't really pay attention when I'm doing my homework. Nothing like crappy, you know, it's gotta be entertaining, you know. But nothing too awesome, you know, because I want to pay attention. But anyway, so this movie ended up being one of those awesome movies, so I ended up having to watch it like a few times after. Plus, it's one of those movies you want to watch again anyway. But yeah, so I ended up watching this movie like 3 times last night. But it was really good. So this movie is called Vivarium. And Vivarium means a laboratory of live animals that you observe and study, and you keep their habitat and their living conditions controlled. That way, you know, you can, and you also keep it very closely to what their natural habitat is, so that you can study what they would do in their natural habitat. So, that is what a vivarium means. And that is what the movie's called. Thick. Okay, so, this movie is, the reason why I love this movie so much. First of all, it's a sci-fi. And, you know, sci-fis are pretty awesome. It's very similar, if you haven't seen the show, if you've seen the show Channel Zero, Dead House, I think is what it was called. I'm not sure if that's what it was called, but it's very similar to that show. It's also, a lot of people have compared it to the Twilight Zone. What else? Some people have compared it to Black Mirror. I wouldn't have compared it to Black Mirror. Black Mirror is more about technology and how technology can go haywire, how it can, you know, get a little bit out of control, and also some things we need to think about, some concepts we need to think about if, you know, our technology is heading in those directions. You know how people might react to having those types of conveniences in our life. And anyway, Black Mirror is a pretty awesome show. I also recommend that one. Highly recommend Black Mirror. Highly recommend. So I guess it's kind of similar in the way that it's kind of eerie and it gets you thinking. You know, it's one of those deep shows. Okay, so this movie is super deep. That's why I like it. Of course, that's the kind of movies I like. You know, those deep sci-fis that get you thinking, and you have to watch it a few times to really get the full scope of what's trying to give you. Okay, so this movie is starts off with 2 characters. Gemma and Tom, and so Gemma is a school teacher and she loves her job and she's super enthusiastic about it, and but she's not so, I don't know, she's not very in her normal personal life. She's not as enthusiastic about her life. She's stressed out. She's got to find a house. Anyway, so her friend, you know, someone that works with her, was telling her, hey, you should, you know, hurry up and grab a home, you know, while you still can. So she's kind of pressured by that, and, you know, goes out and pressures Tom to go out and look for a home. They go into this building, and there's this strange guy sitting at the desk, and he's kind of dressed like a Mormon, and he has a very eerie look on his face. This guy, so this movie is such a genius in the way that they do these things. Like the face expressions that this guy has is so eerie and just gets under your skin. And this is the kind of movie that I love because of these little details that they think about. Just these little subtleties that just make you kind of... there's so many parts in this movie that is like that. They really take advantage of audio and visuals. The fact that, you know, editing, audio editing, dubbing voices, putting a different voice on someone. They use this a lot in the movie to kind of create a sense of unrealness. Because you'll later find out, well, we'll get to that, okay? I'm sorry, I'm jumping around as my ADHD. Okay, so, this weird, eerie guy that's kind of creeping them out a little, kind of pressures them into looking for this home, even though it's not the kind of home that they want. They don't really want a suburban home, but he kind of pressures them by saying, oh, well, you don't want to miss out. You know, these houses are selling up quickly, you know, and you know what, there's a lot of companies that take advantage of this. It's the fear of missing out on something. Even though you don't want it, you fall for it because it's the fear of missing out. Companies take advantage of this crap all the time, so please don't fall for it. Apparently Kylie Jenner does this in her company with her cosmetics. She'll only release a certain amount, and she'll only put them out for a certain amount of time. That way, you know, her customers have to hurry up and get them because they're scared of missing out on them, which is bullcrap. You shouldn't take advantage of your customers' you know, psychology like that to sell products. I mean, even though that's what all companies do, you know, they have their psychologists or whatever they have on their staff that, you know, analyze how to manipulate and take advantage of people. Anyway, so what else? So okay, so fear of missing out. So they decide to follow Martin. The guy's name is Martin. They decide to follow Martin to the neighborhood, to the house. And Tom is a little reluctant. He's like, you know, we don't really want this house. We don't want a suburban house. Why are we doing this? This guy's a little weird. Like, but she's like, whatever, let's do it. Like, okay. They go to the house, and all the houses are the same color. They're all this ugly green color. And all the houses are exactly the same. They go into the house, and Martin seems very enthusiastic about the house. He seems to love it. And there's a scene where he's showing them the bedroom, and the way he sits down on the bed is so creepy and kind of like, it's just kind of inappropriate. I don't know. I was a little creeped out by that part, but that's what I love about this movie, because these little subtle creepy parts, it's just what's so great about it. But anyway, so anyway, he ends up leaving the house, and she's confused. She's like, where did Martin go? They go outside, he's gone, his car is gone. But their car's still there. They followed him there, so they have their own car. Their car's still there. They get in their car, and they start driving out of the neighborhood to try to find a way out. And apparently, someone's texting me. Anyway, my tracks aren't showing. I'm wearing extensions. Do they look okay? Alright, so, what was I saying? My extensions are looking pretty ghetto right now. I'll be right back. BRB. Yay, nay? Okay. So, something's a little weird. Something's off. All the houses look exactly the same, and they seem to be going around in circles. They keep coming back to house number 9. What's going on? They're like, what the hell? They try to loop around. Like, they're like, something, we just must have took a wrong turn, whatever. But eventually, they realize they're not getting out of that neighborhood. They're stuck, and they realize all the houses are exactly the same, and they really can only go into their house, and they only, every time it brings them back to their house, house number 9, and inside that house, there was a box that was left for them that had all of the things that they would need, his cigarettes, her food, just whatever they would need, for survival. And, but they'll soon to find out that the food actually doesn't have a taste to it. Okay, so then they realize they're not getting out of this place. It's super creepy. It's super silent. There's no noise. There's nobody else there. They can't leave. Like, what's going on with this place? And they decide to burn the house down. And then the next day, the house is magically reappears, like nothing happened. And there's a new box, and they look inside the box, and what is in the box? It's a baby. And and it has a note that says, take care of this baby, and then you'll be released. Like raise the baby to adulthood, and then you'll be released. So apparently that's what they want. That's what this whole place is about, right? That's what they want from them. They want them to raise this baby. So they take the baby in, and this baby is growing so fast. This boy is growing as fast as a dog. Every day it seems to like grow like an inch, which is actually faster than a dog. But in the movie they say he grows as fast as a dog. And then the kid starts imitating them, but in a very eerie way. So he can remember every little word, every little argument that they say. So he imitates their arguments in front of them, which is really creepy. Like in the morning when they're in bed and they wake up, and he's just like having a conversation with himself, imitating their arguments, which kind of throws the things that they argue about back into their face. He does this over and over again throughout the movie, where she'll say something and then he'll throw it back into her face later, like just to kind of remind her true feelings of how she feels about like what's going on. And like anyway, it's just a really eerie thing to hear yourself repeated back to you later, and it's like looking into a mirror that you don't want to look into. He also his voice, this kid's character is so freaking awesome. Like, whoever they picked for this actor is perfect actor for this kid. They don't use a kid's voice. They dub an adult voice onto the kid's voice, so it feels very creepy and eerie. It just feels unnatural, and it feels like the voice is coming out from somewhere else, so you kind of get a sense that this place isn't real, that this isn't reality. There's other little clues that pop up that you start to realize that this isn't a real place. They realize the soil isn't real. As you dig deeper into the ground, the soil, it's kind of like in Minecraft, it becomes more blockier, more pixelated. As you dig deeper, it becomes more clumpier. And so as you leave the area you're supposed to be in, it kind of gets more low res, if the place is a simulation. Sorry, I should have said that before. The theory is that this place is actually a simulation. that it's not a real place. It's a place that this person, Martin, whoever this guy was, created to trap these two characters in to raise this baby. There's a little hint in the beginning of the movie that kind of gives you a hint of what is going on and what happens in the beginning of the movie. And I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this before. So dumb. But there was a little girl that was in Gemma's class that saw a baby bird that fell out of a bird's nest, and it was dead. And she was sad about it, and she was like, Gemma, what happened with this baby bird? Why is it dead? And she said, well, another bird must have kicked the bird out of its nest. It must have been a cuckoo bird, because cuckoo birds, what they do is they kick other birds' eggs out of their nest and switch their eggs, and they put their own eggs into the nest and trick these other birds into raising their children. Pretty interesting stuff, right? Like, the most laziest birds ever. And also the most, like, ruthless birds ever. Like, they'll kill your babies so that you'll raise their babies because they're too lazy to raise them themselves. But anyway, that's what the cuckoo bird does. And that's the very beginning of the movie. And throughout the film, you'll hear, like, these little chirps. And it's to kind of signal, like, just to put in your subconscious mind, birds, think birds. And then you have that thought in the very beginning where you learn that nature kind of sucks, that nature can be ruthless. And Gemma kind of just accepts this as, you know, this is just reality. And the girl's like, no, this is fucked up. And this is not how life should be. So, anyway, that's just what it's like when you become a grown-up. You kind of just, like, get jaded about life, and you just kind of just accept that life is kind of fucked up. And, you know, kids are just, they kind of see the truth in things because they're young. They have this young wisdom about them. And they see, you know, the cruelty in things, and like, that just doesn't seem right. Like, that's fucked up. That shouldn't be how it is. Like, why is nature so ruthless? Anyway, but Gemma's like, well, that's just how it is, and so she doesn't care. But still, even though that's how it is, it's still messed up. You know, like, we should still be sad about the bird, like those little baby birds dying. Like, we shouldn't just be like, whatever. You know, that's basically what this movie's about. That's basically the theme of it. It's like, yeah, like, nature kind of sucks, and, you know, instead of just, like, brushing it off and being like, well, that's just how nature is, like, you know, let's have a little heart and care about, you know, our other beings, you know, other living things that are suffering around us, and realize that, I don't know, just look around you, you know, like, look up once in a while. Notice the people around you and what they're going through. Okay, so, I just went on a tangent. So, what was I saying about, I was talking about the cuckoo bird, and about the baby, and about her raising, so basically, she is being tricked into raising someone else's kid. And, so she's in suburbia, and, all they do is basically just take care of this kid. And this kid will, like, scream. She's super annoying if you don't give him exactly what he wants. So you have to give him what he wants. You have to give him cereal. You have to let him watch TV at night. When he watches TV, he watches this fractal that just over and over again. It's like a screensaver. And, like, for a normal person, that would drive you crazy. But he seems to be entertained by it, and why is because he probably is a computer simulation of some sort, and or he could be an alien, and somehow this type of thing can, maybe it's some type of language that we don't understand, but he sees it, or maybe, you know, he sees through ones and zeros like a computer. And that's what he's, you know, seeing. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't really understand. But it's really cool. I mean, just the concept of him watching this TV thing that just keeps going over and over again, and being stimulated by it. And like, how could you just sit there for hours? And what's going on in your head? What are you experiencing? What is your perception that is entertaining or that is stimulating to you? What is going on in your brain? Like, who is this kid? And also, he's always why can't I say this word? Imitating. He's always imitating Tom and Gemma. You know, when they make faces or whatever, he'll make the face. And so she's like, you know, I'm not your damn mother. Like, she doesn't really want to accept this life. It's really freaking boring. And I think that this is also another, like, theme to the movie. It's about how freaking boring and monotonous suburbia life can be. You know, just being a housewife, or, you know, just living in a freaking, you know, house in suburbia with your 5 kids and your dog and your cat and your car or your van, and you bring your kids to school and you go to work, you come home, you cook, you eat, you sleep, and like every day over and over, and eventually you die and no one remembers you. And you leave nothing behind. Like, your life was meaningless. And a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people don't feel that way. A lot of people feel like there's a lot of, like, honor in that, and there is. Some people are not, they're not fulfilled by that. So Gemma seems to be one of those types of people that suburbia life is not for her. She didn't even want this home. She didn't even want it. She was kind of pressured into it. The girl was like, you better hurry up and buy a home, and then he was like, you know, you better get this home before they're going by fast. You know, she didn't really want it. She was just like fear of losing out. But so she gets pressured into this life that she doesn't truly want. And anyway, they can't get out. So she ends up kind of becoming more of a mother to this kid, becoming more motherly to him. I mean, that's just natural for a woman to do. That's what we do. We're mothers, you know. Okay, so, it's so natural for a mother to, even though he's not her real child, he's a child. She has a heart. She cares about him. Like, you know, men, some of them are super sensitive, but some of them aren't. Like, they don't have those motherly instincts. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean, though. Like, it's just, maybe, it's not always, like, the case. Sometimes moms are more strict, but in my experience, it seems like the men are the strict ones, and the moms are, like, nurturing, you know. He was, like, wanting to put his foot down, like, no, you cannot watch TV. Or even at one point, he was trying to kill him. He tried to lock him up in the car and starve him to death, but she wouldn't let that happen. She